Good afternoon. It's Friday, April 29th. I got a message for you. I'm going to reveal 4 aspects from a series of visions I had a few years back. I don't share this lightly. There's some other aspects of this that I'm not sharing because I'm not really ready. I did not write this stuff down. I did not take notes at the time. I wished I had. It was kind of horrifying. It was really difficult on me. So, as my mentor said, some things are best forgotten. So I have four aspects of this vision series that I'm going to share with you. One are weapons. The second is earthquake. The third, the high places. And the fourth, Pax Americana. The Republic returns and expands. So, let's go over the easiest one, the earthquake. Vision was very simple. There was an earthquake in the greater Phoenix area in which all of those highway overpasses and exchanges collapsed. They all came down. It was during rush hour. The traffic was heavy. It was during the daylight. It was immense. So we have the destruction of Phoenix. Phoenix is, according to Edgar Casey, is the future capital of America. And it's supposed to be a deep water port. I love that. I have some oceanfront property for sale in Arizona for you. Well, there's another story to that. We should have bought that territory about 1915 from the Mexicans. That would have given us an ocean port in the Gulf. Oh, it's not the Gulf of Mexico. That's the Gulf of Cortez, I believe it is. North of Rocky Point. Maybe we would have had Rocky Point. We should have bought that, but the Congress was too busy trying to make sure they got paid off right in order to act on our best interest. It was for sale cheaply. Of course, if I was to become, I don't dare say it, I don't really want to be president of this country. I'd want to be something a little bit bigger, badder, and more powerful because I want to get things done. And I hate committee work, and I really don't want to negotiate. Yes, I want to dictate. I want to say it and make it happen. I want to restore our republic. So we have the great earthquake. Then we have Pax Americana. I wrote President Trump a letter about this. But in this vision, I was high up above the earth, above the United States, the continent. And the American flag started to pop up on the western side of Canada. I believe maybe it was Alberta. But the western provinces of Canada, one by one, flew our old glory, flew our flag. That indicated to me that the Republic has been restored, and people know a good thing when they see it, and they wanted to get out of that tyranny from Quebec. You know, the French speakers over there, they wanted to join us, and they wanted to have good lives, and they wanted to have good economies. They didn't want to be stifled by those French-speaking people over in Canada. I shouldn't knock them too much since I am descended from some of those people. Oh, and by the way, I hate to admit this, but my mother one time told me, you're related to Trudeau, the former Prime Minister of Canada. Oh? She says, but you're not going to like him very much. I said, why? Well, he's liberal. He's super liberal. Communist. So Justin Trudeau's father, not his real father, but the one that's on paper, Pierre Trudeau. He looks like one of the family, but Justin doesn't look like one of the family, and I swear he's Fidel Castro's boy. He doesn't look like any of the rest of the family, that's for sure. Now, this one about weapons. The cell towers were being used as weapons in this. They were energized, and they were hitting out beams, if you will, and they were directing those to individuals. They could select their targets from those cell towers. And also there were weapons on drones that were similar in that they would beam out some strong light at people and zap them. I don't know what it did. Maybe made them wacko, could have blinded them, could have done all kinds of stuff, could have controlled them with their psychotronic weapons, perhaps. But that was another one, and that there were some glasses one could wear that would reject that sort of an attack. So maybe they were laser weapons. The John F. Kennedy School for Advanced Warfare produced some laser snipers, if you will, in Iraq. A team of 2 men blinded a whole battalion of Iraqi troops. Anyway, the commander, the captain, sent for reinforcements because they were outnumbered and were going to be overrun. And 2 men get off the helicopter and says, "Look, I sent for reinforcement." "Reinforcements? What are you guys doing here?" "I called for reinforcements." And the sniper, the leader of the team, says, "We're here. We're what you got." And he handed them a bunch of sunglasses, or some sort of glasses, and told them, "Tell your men to put these on and tell them not to take them off till we say so." And they went out in the field, and evidently this rifle had a long ass range. And they went out and they blinded every one of those Iraqi warriors. I don't know if it's permanent or temporary, but when they were done about 2 hours later, they said, "It's okay now, it's safe. Tell your boys, take their glasses off." So they told them that the enemy's all blinded. They can't do anything to you right now. Now, the one I really like in particular was the high places, because this one was very wild. People, men from all different cultures, all different faiths, different traditions, went up to the high places. And they went up there to worship, to pray, to chant, to sing their war songs, and do dances for some of those guys. And they went up to their old high places. And they waged war upon each other. And the purpose of what they were doing was to determine the outcome of the next shuffling of the continents, if you will. So they were chanting and dancing so that their people and their continent would prevail. And then when the Earth's crust unlocked, when the locks were opened of the continents, they wanted their land to rise up. And they wanted the enemy's land to go down, particularly below the waters. And so they were chanting and singing and dancing to get priority in the belief that they would make a difference in whether their land was above the water or beneath the ocean waves. And I found that very interesting, that it was warfare, spiritual warfare, kind of in an interesting way, because they didn't confront their enemies directly, but they did their traditions. So that's what I want to share with you. Oh, and the vision of the republic. We haven't even got a republic. We haven't restored it yet. But the idea that there was going to be a Pax Americana of 1,000 years is because we restore the republic, and these other provinces and other nations around the world join us. In order to get there, we definitely have to respect states' rights and local policing, local policies, because you can only govern locally. You can't do a central government. One size does not fit all. The people need to be able to determine their own fates, their own values, their own laws, their own punishments as well. So in order for us to see the United States flag on these other countries, we have to restore our republic. And that's not going back to before the central bank occurred, or before the gold was confiscated in 1933 and they bankrupted us all and robbed us of everything. And before even the 1871 Organic Act that created the Central District of Criminals known as Washington, D.C., that was only given charter to rule over the 10 square miles contained therein, and instead decided to rule over the rest of us, and now they're even going after countries abroad. So that all has to be reined in. I do think that Alaska is going to get independence. Alaska will become a peacemaker since it was owned by Russia and is probably legally still owned by Russia. Yeah. It was purchased on an illegal agreement. Actually, it was leased for 100 years. And we're way past 100 years. And Alaska needs to become independent because the resources that we have are just tremendous and we're not allowed to develop them. And the feds mismanage everything miserably. They hurt our fish and game. I mean, they run roughshod upon people, the local people on the rivers. I want them out of the state. They have screwed up our fisheries really badly, especially halibut. I want them gone. And Alaska has got a huge well. We need to be able to tap that. But the federal central government will not let us tap that again. They made us close it off in 1974. Enough oil in there to keep that pipeline filled for about, I don't know. I did the calculations before. 300 times 5 is, 1,500 years of oil filling the pipeline to the max capacity of the pipeline. So the royalties off that would be just incredible. Oh, and we have gold. Yeah, we have some pretty precious commodities. We definitely need to bring in food. We've got 20% of the fighting forces are stationed in Alaska for the United States. And we do have nuclear power up there. The Greenies seem to think there's no nuclear allowed in Alaska. It's been there since the 50s. And we've had nuclear projectiles as well for a long time. There used to be 19 of them, in case you're wondering. And it's a really archaic system that they had. We also have the biggest weapon in the world stationed up there. I keep forgetting that. HARP. It's powered with a natural gas pipeline that's 4 feet in diameter. So, you greenies out there worried about greenhouse gases. Look, folks, they've been screwing with our weather. Probably did the Great Dust Bowl on us back before the first depression. We really need to throw the bastards out. Jesus, Yeshua, showed us who they were. They were the money changers that were inside the temple. Turned my father's house into a den of thieves. We're going to go back to some more Bible reading. I think you folks are going to like this stuff. I'm going to be producing these with the hopes that over-the-road truck drivers will be able to listen to these, and hopefully I'll do a good job reading. All right, I'm over and out. I like that 13-minute mark. We're just beyond it. Keep your powder dry.